match has finished. West Ham United 1, Manchester City 3. Funnily enough, I actually feel better after losing there than I did after winning against Bournemouth. But maybe that's just because we got the draw against Liverpool. Do you know what? Maybe better's not the right word. I feel I've got more of an idea of what we're probably going to try and do. And I actually, believe it or not, I think there's probably more positives to come out of that City game than I saw in the game against Bournemouth. Now, I think by and large, I've sort of tended to focus on a lot of what's wrong from what I've noticed about Lopetegui so far, and I'll possibly deal with a little bit more of that tomorrow. There was a lot right today. I really did think so. And at 2-1 down, right going into the very, very end of the game, we were still in that game and we were pushing for the equaliser. No doubt about it. And if it wasn't for that mistake, which was very rash from Mavropanos, I know I'm sort of skipping to the end of the game. Mavropanos came to try and win the ball. He followed his man out from central defence, ended up in midfield, didn't win it, and then he decided, I'll go for the next guy. So he went even further deeper into midfield. You would argue that there was no arguing about it. He was far further into Manchester City's half than he was in our half. And Haaland, Man City exploited the spare man and the pace. And there was just no way Rodriguez was going to catch Haaland, who scored his hat-trick. What a player. Unbelievable, really. But we were in it at that point, and we were getting better. We were much improved in the second half. I say much improved in the second half. For the first 4 minutes of that first half, we were scintillating. I mean, we were excellent. Really were. And I thought, this is it. This is what he wants. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who started the game at right back, finished at left back, found himself in advance of Jarrod Bowen for those first few minutes. We had control in the midfield. We were pressing. We had Manchester City penned back, and we looked really, really good. Unfortunately, it did not take them long to turn the tide, and by 5 minutes, they were sort of all over us. I have to really take into account that Manchester City are a team of outright quality. There's no point me sitting here and debating whether it's Man City or Real Madrid or even be it Arsenal this season, who are the best team around. It doesn't matter. They're up there. They're one of them. We were not outclassed today. For periods of the game, we absolutely were. But we managed to hang on in there and provide a threat ourselves. I mean, Kudus managed to hit the bar. In fact, Somerville, was very, very unlucky not to score at the end. We got something about us. We really do. And I just, as I say, I feel a lot more buoyed about that. They're going to have a lot easier games than that this season, Manchester City. Make no mistake about that at all. And I think they probably played us just the right time, really. Give us another couple of months to get some tactics bedded in. And I think we may well be, a bit more of a fearsome proposition than we were today. Granted, they would say they didn't have Rodri, and they'd probably say the same thing. But they did not embarrass us, and so many times over the years they have embarrassed us. Not today. And I do think maybe the 3-1 scoreline was reflective. But I'll tell you what it wasn't. I don't think it was reflective of the overall shots in the game. It felt like, and it didn't reflect how much we were in the game, as we really, really were. And we started to come to our fore in that second half, no doubt about it at all. Look, first half, a lot of the old problems were there. Say old problems, he's only been here 5 minutes, Lopetegui. But when I say the old problems, it was, isolated attacker, Antonio in attack, not great. I mean, that's not a Lopetegui problem. I do wonder if he's going to, because he didn't get really any better with Fulkrug came on, what we're going to do is sit here, blame individual players. I think it may come to a point where possibly Lopetegui decides he's better off not playing a striker at all. And I'm not being flippant. I'm really, really not. Anyway, we'll deal with that. We'll deal with that another time. But quite possibly against lesser teams than Man City, we would have been very, very effective. But there's some work to do on the striker department. It's a video for another day. I think the thing that annoyed me most, once again, was Mohamed Kudus on the left-hand side. He was ineffective. He was terrible. But as terrible as he was at early parts of the first half, he started to grow. Not physically. He's still the same height. But he really did, in terms of his stature, in terms of his performance, in terms of his demeanour on the pitch. By the end of the game, I would suggest he was almost unplayable. He needs to find a way to get the best out of him, and I think he will. He was trying. There was a point in the first half, actually, when he moved Kudus over to the right. Antonio was playing left wing, and Bowen was playing up front. He ditched it pretty quickly. After, it didn't even get to last till the end of the half, but I think it showed he was thinking on his feet, and it showed he was trying to do different things. The thing is that their initial goal was our fault. It was a ridiculous farce. It was a ridiculous farce. Freudian slip then. It was a ridiculous farce and a ridiculous pass from Emerson. Put Paqueta in trouble. Maybe Paqueta at his best, or any technical player at their best, would have been able to rescue it. But, Paqueta's touch wasn't great. But he was at the stretch. I mean, Emerson's to blame here. They got through on goal, and Haaland scored. It was, we gifted them the ball, gifted them the goal. And it looked at that point they would overwhelm us. But, we managed to get something on the counter-attack. And I have to say this, right? It's really important about our goal that made it 1-1. It was prompted by Areola set the tone with a really fast, accurate, attacking throw-out. It was proper aggressive distribution. A keeper throwing the ball out saying, I'm going to attack. The thing is, City's press was so good. They were really stopping us from passing, cutting out the passing lanes. They were really pressing us, which meant we had to pass first time, and we had to pass quickly. We were so impressive at it. We passed it around the back. We passed it down the right flank. Little interchange of passes. Wan-Bissaka was involved. We'll get onto him later. Ended up going down the wing to Bowen. It was Paqueta who played the pass to Bowen. He was just starting to come out of his shell a little bit then, because I think he was a little bit shell-shocked by that first goal, Paqueta. Bowen ran down the right-hand side. If you haven't seen the goal, you can imagine it. You just imagine Bowen in the Bowen position, running down the right-hand side. He starts to cut in, and then he puts a cross across the face of goal. But rather than a West Ham striker or anything, like such a thing would happen, not a West Ham striker slotting the ball in, it actually ricocheted off of Ruben Dias. But it was a deserved goal. It really, really was, because it was a good attacking move, and it was impressive how West Ham played through Manchester City's press. I've said this season I've been waiting for us to score a goal. I don't wish to belittle any of the other goals that we've scored, but like the winner against Bournemouth was a little bit clumsy. The goal against Villa was a penalty, and and the goals against Crystal Palace, it was sort of scrappy stuff, basically. This was a proper goal, you know what I mean? It was proper passing all the way through. It was a good goal. Yes, the end was an own goal. It was. But it was still nice to see a build-up. And as I've been saying for a little while, whatever I say, a little while, 2 or 3 days now, I've been looking to see a goal with a build-up. I certainly got it there. Well, I mean, what can I say? Manchester City's second goal, I guess I could sit here and start picking things apart. In fact, I will. I still think the fullbacks are too narrow. I still think the fullbacks are too close to the central defenders. So we had this big problem, particularly in the first half, where Wan-Bissaka was having to run out and try and close down Grealish. There was so much space there. It's instruction. He's under instruction to do it. But their goal was excellent, Manchester City's goal. I don't... that whole thing, I'll show me a goal and I'll show you a mistake. It was really good. They moved the ball really, really quickly. It's like a bloody rugby move, really. It was just, but moving it along the line, and the finish from Haaland was really fast, really hard. People might, I don't know. I'm going to say people might criticise Areola. I've not looked at any social media. I've not seen one person criticise Areola, so let me just put that out there. But if anybody was going to, I think it was such a fearsome shot. It was. I don't think there's too many goalkeepers that would have. It's just down to reactions. It was probably I don't know how fast he hits the ball, but it was probably gone past him at 60 mile an hour. Just too fast, too hard. As I say, some player. The third goal I've already described. It was Mavropanos, but we really came into it in the second half. I felt Kudus managed to grow into the game and really started to force himself onto the proceedings. Paqueta, to an extent, started to puff his chest out and started to play a few more passes, which was really, really good to see. Max Kilman again was excellent. He enjoys defending, actually, for all that dribbling stuff out the front that you saw. the Bowen's goal against Crystal Palace, which I love that goal, by the way. There's nothing wrong with that goal. I'm just saying I wanted to see us play. Let's just score at least once with a build-up of passes. But I'm more than happy to score like Bowen scored all the time. Kilman was good. Wan-Bissaka, look, he get his own video. He deserves his own video. Amazing. £15 million. This player is incredible. He's incredible. I don't know how that's even happened, but we are in for a treat. I'll say that much. This season, we are in for a treat. We'll give him his own video. I think that's only fair. Antonio was hoiked, amongst others. Many people were hoiked. Oh, sorry, I should probably say Areola got hooked at half-time, so Fabianski was in goal in the second half. I can only assume that Areola got injured. Antonio, and it actually did have a chance. He did have a chance and forced a corner, but uninvolved, more or less, has to be said. Fulkrug came on. Uninvolved, really. I think it's just, maybe it's a system. Eventually, he did bring on Souček as well, because Souček didn't start the game, of course. There were 2 exchanges between Souček and Fulkrug. Look, I am trying to remain open-minded on this, all right? And I've said I need to learn about this player. But one thing I've already decided, and I'm closed-minded on, and I said this after Bournemouth, I don't want to see Fulkrug and Souček next to each other. They tried to do something on 2 separate occasions, one near the end, and there was one where probably it got caught up under Souček's feet and he should have scored. But you're going to see that a lot. It's pretty clumsy stuff, really. But we were trying to get the equaliser, and I thought we nearly did. So I don't mind if he's going to start doing that towards the end of games and stuff like that. If he's going to, start playing with, just more, shall we say, orthodox midfielders in midfield, then I'm absolutely fine with that. Rodriguez is a very, very, very good footballer, by the way. It was he got a card, right, and he kicked, I can't even remember who he kicked someone to stop an attack. It was a tactical yellow card. And he was saying one, well done referee, one, that's my only foul. It wasn't his only foul. I don't know who he's trying to kid. He's going to get a red card, by the way, at some point. But a good player, fine player, really nice to see Alvarez. A couple of mistakes from Alvarez, but some absolute bits of class play from him as well. You can probably hear in my voice, I'm okay. I'm not down in the dumps with that. I'm really not. I've taken more from that game than I thought I would, and I've probably forgotten more than I've remembered at this point. So I'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to go sort of try and enjoy the rest of my evening, and hopefully you lot do the same as well. I'll deal with some other stuff tomorrow. I want to have a good old talk about Wan-Bissaka, I think, as well. I think that's only fair to do that. And look. What can I say? It's a shame to lose. It really is. Give us another couple of weeks on that training ground. I know not everybody will be there because some are going on international duty. Carlos Soler was in the ground today, got paraded to the fans and all the rest of it. Had a cuddle with Tim Stuyton, as you do. Really, I feel I was a little bit worried, I think, after the Bournemouth game. Now I'm looking forward to it. It's that pesky bloody international break, honestly, I could well do without it. Anyway, there you go. Right, listen, I'll catch up with you tomorrow.